Cyd Charisse was an American actress and dancer. After recovering from polio as a child, and studying ballet, Charisse entered films in the 1940s. Her roles usually focused on her abilities as a dancer, and she was paired with Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. Her films include Singin' in the Rain, The Band Wagon and Silk Stockings. She stopped dancing in films in the late 1950s, but continued acting in film and television, and in 1992 made her Broadway debut. In her later years, she discussed the history of the Hollywood musical and documentaries, and was featured in That's Entertainment! 3 in 1994. She was awarded the National Medal of the Arts and Humanities in 2006. Early life: Charisse was born Estela Elise Finkley in Amarillo, Texas, the daughter of Lela and Ernest Enos Finkley, Sr., who was a jeweler. Her nickname Cyd was taken from her younger brother, Thomas Jarrell Finkley, who tried to say sis. She was a sickly girl who started dancing lessons at 6 to build up her strength after a bout with polio. At 12, she studied ballet in Los Angeles with Adolph Bowman Bronislava Nijinská, and at 14, she auditioned for and subsequently danced in the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo as Felius Idirova, and, later, Maria Istomina. During a European tour, she met up again with Nico Caras, a handsome young dancer she had studied with for a time in Los Angeles. They married in Paris in 1939. They had a son, Nicky, born in 1942. Career: the outbreak of World War II led to the breakup of the company, and when Charisse returned to Los Angeles, David Lichine offered her a dancing role in Gregory Ritoff's Something to Shout About. This brought her to the attention of choreographer Robert Alton who had also discovered Gene Kelly and soon she joined the Freed unit at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, where she became the resident MGM ballet dancer. In an early role, she had her first speaking part supporting Judy Garland in the 1946 film The Harvey Girls. Charisse was principally celebrated for her on-screen pairings with Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. She first appeared with Astaire in a brief routine in Ziegfeld Follies. Her next appearance with him was as the lead female role in The Band Wagon, where she danced with Astaire in the acclaimed Dancing in the Dark and Girl Hunt ballet routines. It was one of her most memorable dance numbers. Critic Pauline Kael said that, when the bespangled Charisse wraps her phenomenal legs around Astaire, she can be forgiven everything, even her 3 minutes of classical ballet and the fact that she reads her lines as if she learned them phonetically. As Debbie Reynolds was not a trained dancer, Gene Kelly chose Charisse to partner with him in the celebrated Broadway melody ballet finale from Singin' in the Rain, and she co-starred with Kelly in 1954's Scottish-themed musical film Brigadoon. She again took the lead female role alongside Kelly in his MGM musical It's Always Fair Weather. In 1957, she rejoined Astaire in the film version of Silk Stockings, a musical remake of 1939's Ninotchka, with Charisse taking over Greta Garbo's role. In his autobiography, Astaire paid tribute to Charisse, calling her beautiful dynamite, and writing, "That's it. When you've danced with her you stay danced with." She had a slightly unusual serious acting role in Party Girl, where she played a showgirl who became involved with gangsters and a crooked lawyer, although it did include 2 dance routines. In her autobiography, Charisse reflected on her experience with Astaire and Kelly. As one of the handful of girls who worked with both of those dance geniuses, I think I can give an honest comparison. In my opinion, Kelly is the more inventive choreographer of the two. Astaire, with Hermes Pan's help, creates fabulous numbers for himself and his partner. But Kelly can create an entire number for somebody else. I think, however, that Astaire's coordination is better than Kelly's. His sense of rhythm is uncanny. Kelly, on the other hand, is the stronger of the two. When he lifts you, he lifts you. To sum it up, I'd say they were the 2 greatest dancing personalities who were ever on screen. But it's like comparing apples and oranges. They're both delicious. After the decline of the Hollywood musical in the late 1950s, Charisse retired from dancing but continued to appear in film and TV productions from the 1960s through the 1990s. She had a supporting role in Something's Got to Give, the last, unfinished film of Marilyn Monroe. a striptease number by Charisse set to the movie's theme song opened the 1966 Dean Martin spy spoof, The Silencers. She frequently performed dance numbers on TV variety series such as The Ed Sullivan Show and The Dean Martin Show, with 7 appearances on the Hollywood Palace, a show she also hosted 3 times. She made cameo appearances in Blue Mercedes' I Want to Be Your Property, and Janet Jackson's All Right music videos. Her last film appearance was in 1994 in That's Entertainment 3 as one of the on-screen narrators of A Tribute to the Great MGM musical films. Personal life: Charisse's first husband, whose surname she kept, was Nico Charisse. They were married from 1939 and had a son, Nicky Charisse, before divorcing in 1947. In 1948, Charisse married singer Tony Martin. They had a son, Tony Martin, Jr., and remained married until her death. Her daughter-in-law is actress and model Liv Lindeland, married to Tony Martin, Jr. until his death in 2011. Sheila Charisse, another daughter-in-law, died in the American Airlines Flight 191 tragedy on May 25, 1979. Charisse, like her husband Tony Martin, Sr., was a staunch Republican and campaigned for Richard Nixon in 1968. Charisse was ordained as a minister by the Universal Life Church. She was the aunt of the actress Nana Visitor. Later years and death. In 1976, Charisse and her husband Tony Martin wrote their joint memoirs with Dick Kleiner entitled The Two of Us. In 1990, following similar moves by MGM colleagues Debbie Reynolds and Angela Lansbury, Charisse produced the exercise video Easy Energy Shape Up, targeted for active senior citizens. She made her Broadway debut in 1992 in the musical version of Grand Hotel as the aging ballerina, Elizaveta Grushinskaya. In her 80s, Charisse made occasional public appearances and appeared frequently in documentaries spotlighting the golden age of Hollywood. She was featured in the 2001 Guinness Book of World Records under Most Valuable Legs, because a $5 million insurance policy was reportedly issued on her legs in 1952. MGM was reputed to have insured her legs for $1 million each, but Charisse stated that had been an invention of the MGM publicity machine. Death: Charisse was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California on June 16, 2008, after suffering an apparent heart attack. She died the following day at age 86. She was a practicing Methodist, and due to her husband's religion she was buried at Hillside Memorial Park Cemetery, a Jewish cemetery in Culver City, California, following a Methodist ceremony. Honors. On November 9, 2006, in a private White House ceremony, President George W. Bush presented Cyd Charisse with the National Medal of the Arts and Humanities, the highest official U.S. honor available in the arts. Filmography, features. Short subjects: Rumba Serenade, Poom, I Knew It Would Be This Way, Did Anyone Call? Magic of Magnolias, This Love of Mine, 1955 Motion Picture Theater Celebration, Television, What's My Line, Tribute episode to Fred Allen, air date, March 18, 1956, Murder, She Wrote, Season 2, Episode 1, Widow, Weep for Me. Stage work, Les Poupa Copywriters de Paris, a 2-act review, Aaliyah Darling, Can, No, Nanette, Greenwich Village Follies of 1923, Cactus Flower, Charlie Girl, Grand Hotel. Music videos, I Want to Be Your Property by Blue Mercedes, All Right by Janet Jackson. References. External links. Cyd Charisse at the Internet Movie Database, Cyd Charisse at the Internet Broadway Database, Cyd Charisse interview video at the Archive of American Television, photographs and bibliography, BBC Obituary, CBC Obituary, NY Times Obituary.